So I had another stop out break even today, which is honestly not a bad thing. I could have walked away with a little bit more profit. My bias was right. I was patient. I executed almost flawless, except for moving my stops to break even. So that is a good thing. I followed my plans. My risk management was on point. Everything. So it is a win in my book. I'm getting better. So let's get right into today's video. Today is Tuesday the 21st of April 2026, and yeah, let's look at these charts. So quick view only took about, well, technically one trade today, but I took two entries, and this is where the current standing is on the account. So stopped out break even. I think I went about 0.5% in profit. So what has been happening is that the volatility has completely died down in the market. Well, it's not completely died down, but it's way less than the other day. So the other day when we had those 1 minute candles having 100, 200 points, 50, 60 points, that hasn't been the case for the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks. We've had about 13 up days, and this is the first day pullback. So I anticipated sales, missed the open, but was a good trade nevertheless. Just that I moved my stops to break even too um, quickly. So this was the trade that ended up taking. So let me show you. Here I took the sell here after we had the sweep, and I ended up coming all the way down in profit here before coming back to break even. So I think this trade went around 0.5% in profit, like I said, but I should have just left the stop for a while, but it was taking too long to play out, and I was distracted, to be honest. So I was trading while I was at work, but this is what it is. So this is the execution. um One lot, I entered twice with one lot. Let me show you how that looked on the chart. So where is it? Refresh here. So this is where I executed at, right inside of the macro. I think this is around a little, I think it's about midday. The market was a bit consolidating. I took the sell right here, and then I added right here. um this could have played out very decent. We actually ran for, my TP was actually to the lows here for 80 points, and we actually ran for 100 and say almost 50 points if I had moved my stats from break even here, but I thought it would have played out nicely. But this is what it is. I wanted to basic. I got a little bit impatient. I wanted to just come off the chart. So we were consolidating a bit, and I didn't like the move. So yeah, ended up closing out there. But you know, good move, nice trade. Nevertheless, I just wish I had let my edge play out a little bit more. So let me go on the higher time frame now and show you how we did today. So quickly starting out here. So we had a down close day. We came up today and swept the previous daily high, and we actually did a little bit of a sweep into all-time highs before New York opened. So this year we went up, came back down. So my bias was bearish. Besides, we had the equal low down here, but we are still inside of the range of the week. So we're still inside the range of yesterday. Barely come up and swept the previous daily high, and see today come up. I think we could possibly continue going up, but let us see. We have still more headline driven markets here, so expecting to see some more volatility being injected if we don't get a tightening up of what's going on with the conflict between Iran and US. And also we basically coming to the end of an era with Jerome Powell. We probably soon get a new Fed chair for US. So let us see how that turns out in the markets. Yeah, so that is where we at. Let me show you the 1 hour time frame now. Like I said, still inside of the range. We didn't trend down as much as how I wanted. So I got in inside of the chop here because I missed out on the opportunities up here. I did not trade Asia or London because, like I said, the moves have been rather shallow. The market isn't moving much during the overnight session. Yeah, maybe 100 points, 120, 150 points, but um, you have to wait basically all night to catch those moves, and I don't have all night at the moment. I don't have all night, so I am not able to stay up for the entire night and wait for the move. Whereas usually, if we were trending, I could have easily caught that move in Asia and be done for the day by time London should kick in. But I wasn't able to do that, and I'm not able to do that consistently. So if I catch a move, I catch a move. If I don't, then I just have to leave it up to the market. So yeah, this is what we did on the 1 hour time frame. Like I said, stayed inside of the range. It was like high resistance run. The main move came right around 9:50, 10:10, coming down, but we just bounced back and then came back down. So let me show you on the 15 minute. Where is the 15 minute? Alright, 15 minute here. So the best move actually came in right here, coming down, and we accelerated in market open. I missed out on this buy which I could have capitalized on. Very nice buy. Um, because I don't trade just one side of the market. If I get both sides, then I could capitalize. Then I'm going to try to capitalize to make my daily target. So yeah, my bias was bearish, but we had sold down, and I realized we're still in an uptrend, still respecting up close candles on the higher time frame or down close candles on the higher time frame. So I'm going to try to catch both sides. So this order block is what we bounced from on the 15 minute, and this gave us a nice entry inside of here. We came back up into this order block again, and that's where we sold from. Come all the way back down, took out the liquidity internally, I think, from the previous day, um, previous session, I should say, down here, and then we didn't quite make it down to the previous day until a little bit later down in the evening, where we ran the previous daily low down here. So the previous daily low, um, previous daily low we had was right around here, and we came down and took it when we broke below it right there. So we came down after we had a little bit of a volatility injection, and we ended up still retracing and going back up inside of the range. So we ended up pushing back up to close off the lows of the day. So closing basically like a spinning top candle, a little lower, like I said, but so we open up for Asia, and we already ran up, which I didn't catch either. So we running up now currently about 75 points. So let us see what we get there. But let me quickly go to trading view and show you what actually happened throughout the session. So zooming out quickly. So starting out all the way over in, let me see, Asia. So Asia will open up, and we had a pretty decent run to the upside. There were some entries going up right around 8:30. We broke up, but I didn't like this. Isn't the cleanest price action, so I avoid this. There was one entry inside the macro at around 11 o'clock, minutes to 11. Right here we had that sell come back down. This was a decent buy, so this was where we farmed the hold on, let me find this thing to annotate the charts. Where is it? Yeah, man. So the 4 hour candle opened right here and it closed over here in London, right around here. So a little bit of a doji candle. So the low was right here, testing this order block here as well as a fair value gap outside of the macro, but you could have gotten entries here, inside of here, coming all the way up and targeting this session liquidity, which would have been Asia highs. So that was a pretty good trade, targeting this 4 hour candle from the low here all the way up to the high here. Now that is it for Asia session. Let me quickly switch to London now. London, more consolidation. So the 4 hour candle open here, we immediately ran for the highs. Coming back down here, we formed this low, and this low actually tapped into this right here. Is it this right here? Yeah, so we actually tapped into that order block right there and end up running all the way up. So not the cleanest price action, like I said, but there are still opportunities for you to capitalize on. So we ended up running up there. Let me see, trying to get this thing to mark, but see if we can restart it. So we ended up having this low here and this 4 hour candle open right here. The next one close right here. So still another inside candle, low, high, close right here. So open, low, high. Well, this is the high up here. We had a intermediate low right here, and then we close over here. So this one was actually a, let me see, this is actually a green candle. Yeah, it's a green candle, bullish candle, but it had a lot of wick on it from over here. So yeah, we ended up having quite a few runs. So the main entry would have been from there, inside of here, coming up to the highs, and a sell right there coming down to here, back to the open of that candle, and then now we ended up closing back up here. So we had an entry right here as well for the new one opening for 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. New York time, and that would have given us the pre-market highs that took out the previous daily high. So we ended up coming up running London high over here, taking out the London high right there. Zoom in this a bit more. So we ended up running the London highs right there, this right here, but you could have caught entries inside of here to target that high, and then now we ended up taking out the previous daily high somewhere inside of here. Let me try to zoom out and see where was the previous daily high. So previous daily high was up here, so we actually take it out pre-market over here with this run. So clearing out the previous daily high. Now my target is back down because We take this out before market open. We open with a premium gap over here. So I saw ICT catch some sales inside of here. I wasn't on the charts here. I was actually late for work, heading in. But this was some nice opportunities to go short after we took the previous daily high. I saw him posting quite a few number of people catch it online that I follow, but this was a nice sell. So this, I think this is a 15-minute order block, but using the refined techniques I could get an entry right inside of this OB. One entry here, another entry here, um another entry there, another entry here, and this is using this new PD array, the bolo. But I'm just going to call these just order blocks for me because um not so keen on that part yet. So order blocks, just checking order flow. We had fair value gap there, another order block test here, another OB here, another one inside of here, and we just tracking all the way down. As soon as NYSE open, we ended up running up a bit and then running back down. So if I should turn on this, show you the RTH gap, if it would load up. So we open with a discount gap right here because we close down here. Well, we close up here. Where is it? What should I say? So yeah, we ended up closing down here and we ended up opening up here. So it's actually a premium gap and then we traded back down here. I was just watching here, wasn't on the charts. We ended up just selling down, but I was interested in catching some buys after we had already came down because here we had already cleared out the London lows as well as the Asia lows. So I thought maybe we could actually flip back up. So this is London low and this is, where is it? So this is London low right here, and where is Asia low? Asia low is all the way over here. So we took out those immediately on the 9:30 open. I was going to take some trades, but I decided, you know what, let me just wait and see. But we had a nice little M5 order block here. If I go on the 5 minute, you see, because I'm really loving how this price action is playing out and how I'm able to read it. So this fair value gap and order block inside of here, where is it? Where is it? No, tell me some lose track of the price. Oh yeah, right here, right inside of here, I could have gotten an entry. I saw this quick entry right here to go back long right inside of the macro. This would have been my ideal trade for the day. Even though it's a reversal, it's a pretty decent one to take it back into the open there. Back into midnight open. So the midnight open is this pink line here, as well as we had some liquidity up here that we could have targeted. But I would have TP'd anywhere up there for my 1% using just following my little techniques. I could have gotten a nice TP there, but I missed out on that trade because I wasn't on the charts at that time either. So we had just stacking the entries for the other flow. We had one nice little OB here for entry. So that was one entry, and this was another one using this fair value gap right here. And these are inside of the macro to target the highs right there. And I think this ended up running up 120 points. From my entry, I would have probably caught 90 to 100 points, which is a decent capture for me with my kind of entries. And that would have been a nice trade for me going back up. So we also had a sell from this fair value gap coming down. this would have been a little bit out of the, well, this would have been inside of the silver bullet window. So the 4 hour candle opened right here, traded up, farmed the wick, breaking back down below the open, and then we ended up retesting here. Wasn't able to capture this as well because I had just gotten situated and I wasn't sure. So this kind of consolidation, I wasn't even sure what we were going to do, and I thought we would have maybe went back higher before going lower, but in my thinking, I just decided let me wait. So we ended up selling off during the 11 a.m. macro right inside of here. Another beautiful entry using um this fair value gap inside of here, coming all the way down. Nice capture there. We ended up taking out the New York AM lows and the PM lows from the previous day. Um, Nice liquidity taken there. I don't think I would have gotten an entry in here. I think I marked this out as a, I think it was a, is a 5 minute order block. 5 minute order block that we had resting there. Yeah. So because we immediately took off, I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to just chase this thing. So let me just leave it alone. And we ended up trading back up, rejecting here, coming all the way up. I didn't capture any of this. So I was just watching price all the way through it, and when we came up, rejected from this other block right here. I think this one is a 5 minute 5 minute order block that we sold from. So when we started to reject from here, I saw we come down here and I was anticipating this inversion, but I took my entries inside of here based off this fair value gap, and my stops were above the highs here. I shouldn't have went break even, else I would have still been in the trade, but it is what it is. So we ended up coming all the way down here, and like I said, my TP was just to capture these lows for the main session. I should have just left the stops where they were, and I would have gotten easy 2%. Easy 2%. But I wanted to just be off the charts. I was pretty much mentally exhausted from all this back and forth, and I needed to get some work done. So I had to leave it. So not so comfortable with the risk just being left like that because I didn't want to take another loss. So I just moved the stop break even. It come back, come stop me out and say, I just say, you know what, let me be done for the day. If I was able to track the order flow like I would love to, then maybe I would have left it a little bit more. So we ended up coming back to test this order block right here. But I was looking at the fair value gap inside of here, and I said, I think it was inside of here. And I was saying to myself, if it come back up there, then let me just call it a day then. If it stop me there, because I'm not expecting price to come all the way back up there. Where is this? No, wrong one. OB. Right there. But we only end up coming up to make a new low. But I was watching the 15 minute as well, and I didn't like the look of price where we had a 1 hour candle closing inside our ears. So I was wondering if we're going to push up. I think we ended up closing green. Where is it? Let me find that candle. So we open right here and close up here. So yeah, I didn't like the way how we close here, and I thought we would have run higher. So yeah, I just ended up taking out that there, and we ended up coming down. So this would have been a nice TP. If I extend it down, then I honestly could have gotten 150 points coming down here, which could have been a easy 3%. But I wasn't able to manage the trade properly, and that is the reason why I didn't capture all of that. So we ended up coming down there. Inside of this macro again, we had another sell opportunity, but I had already closed down the laptop lid and ended for the day. So we had a sell from this here, another retest here, and this is just high resistance type of moves. Coming back up into this OB, then selling back down. We had another test of this fair value gap, but as you can see, we are respecting the bearish structure and the bearish order flow. But I think we had some type of Trump speech with the Fed and something, some announcement came out, because I didn't like the way we were just spiking back and forth. So I close the laptop here, and when I look on my phone, I see we end up coming all the way down here. During this special macro, which would have been which one is this? ICT 110 to 140. We ended up building order flow to come into the upside there, and this would have been a beautiful entry. So we had an order block here, an inversion, and this could have been a nice entry to go long from during this macro. Anywhere inside of here would have been a nice entry to go long, and you could have capitalized on another 100-point run right there. Beautiful entry, another one inside of here. So two entries inside of there. And then now by the time we got into the 2 p.m. for the new 4-hour candle, this 4-hour candle closed down here. So closed with a little bit of a wick on it. And then now we ended up consolidating some more. Traded up from the week, and then coming down to close down here. And this is the after hours that we kind of just chapter running. So during power hour we ended up slamming back down, and after hours we ended up coming all the way back up here. So that was what we did today. Like I said, clean price action. Love how I'm just flowing with the price action. If I was able to watch all day, it would have been lovely, but it is what it is. Just loving the growth and the improvement, and just staying patient and disciplined. So that is it for today's video. Until next time, peace.